How to Learn English. Maya harbored a profound desire to master English, yet a formidable barrier always seemed to stand in her way. The dream of effortlessly engaging in conversations felt perpetually distant. Every attempt to articulate thoughts left her flustered, words vanishing into thin air, replaced by an embarrassing, profound silence, leaving her deeply frustrated. The very thought of speaking English publicly ignited a profound dread within her. Her heart would pound uncontrollably, palms becoming instantly clammy. This daily struggle weighed heavily on her spirit, eroding confidence steadily. She yearned to express herself freely, but fear of mispronunciation or grammar errors always paralyzed her. She often felt trapped, her vibrant thoughts unable to transcend the linguistic chasm. The world felt smaller, opportunities limited, purely because of this language barrier. This persistent internal battle made simple interactions daunting. She desperately sought an effective, practical way to bridge this significant communication gap. Then, a piece of advice resonated deeply: why you must read English. It wasn't just about grammar rules, but immersing oneself. Reading promised a natural acquisition of vocabulary and sentence structures, an organic process. It suggested a less intimidating entry point into the vast English language. She learned that reading vastly expands one's mental lexicon and comprehension. Each book, article, or even a simple story, opened new vistas of understanding. It offered context for words previously unknown, making their meanings intuitively clear. This insight provided a much-needed spark of hope. Maya decided to embark on this journey, beginning with simple English story reading. She chose children's books initially, their straightforward narratives and repetitive phrases offering comfort. It felt less like studying and more like exploring. The first few pages were a small victory. Progress was painstakingly slow at first. She often reread sentences multiple times, consulting a dictionary frequently. Frustration sometimes loomed large, but she persevered. The initial stories felt challenging, yet each completed page filled her with a subtle sense of accomplishment. She truly committed. The key, she quickly discovered, was unwavering consistency. Even just 15 minutes daily made a difference. This regular engagement slowly chipped away at her apprehension. The more she read, the more familiar words and phrases became, gradually building her foundational comprehension. Reading exposed her to the intricate dance of English sentence structures. She began to intuitively grasp how sentences were built, how ideas flowed seamlessly. This passive learning was unexpectedly powerful. It provided a blueprint for constructing her own thoughts coherently. The sheer joy of understanding a new word purely from its context in a story was exhilarating. It felt like solving a small puzzle. This experiential learning solidified vocabulary far better than rote memorization. Her confidence quietly grew with each successful deduction. Next, the daunting phase: start talking at home. The concept of speaking aloud, even to herself, felt intensely awkward initially. Her voice sounded strange, hesitant. Yet, she knew this crucial step was vital for progress. It was time to push past discomfort. Her first attempts involved uttering simple greetings and self-introductions in front of a mirror. "Hello, Maya," she'd whisper, then, "how are you today?" Each syllable felt heavy, unfamiliar. Gradually, these small steps built a tiny, fragile foundation for spoken practice. Overcoming self-consciousness was paramount. She reminded herself that this private practice was for her ears only. Narrating her daily routine, describing objects around her home, slowly became less intimidating. The awkwardness began to wane, replaced by growing confidence. She began narrating her mundane activities aloud. I am making tea. The water is boiling now. This simple act of verbalizing thoughts in English began wiring her brain differently. It transformed passive understanding into active articulation. It was profoundly effective. A crucial revelation came: how to think and speak. Before forming any English sentence, she practiced thinking directly in English. This bypassed the tedious translation process from her native language, making her responses much faster and more natural sounding. She started actively forming thoughts in English throughout her day. If she saw a bird, she'd think that bird is singing beautifully. This continuous internal monologue reinforced English structures. It trained her mind to operate natively within the language. Describing her surroundings, her feelings, her plans, all internally in English, became a constant mental exercise. This consistent practice of internal thought process was pivotal. It transformed her brain into an English-speaking machine, ready for external expression. The shift from translating every thought to directly conceiving ideas in English was revolutionary. It unlocked a new level of fluency. Her speech became less fragmented, more organic, flowing naturally. This mental discipline greatly reduced her hesitation and fumbling. Her daily day's struggle transformed from a battle against silence into a structured, purposeful effort. Each day had its dedicated reading time, its speaking at home practice. It was no longer a vague ambition, but a concrete, achievable plan, yielding visible results. She made a conscious effort to incorporate specific phrases and expressions learned from her reading into her home conversations. This active application cemented new vocabulary and grammatical patterns. Each successfully used phrase boosted her morale considerably. Slowly, Maya began expanding her home practice to include her incredibly supportive family members. Initially, just a simple good morning or how are you? Their patience and encouraging smiles made her feel safe to experiment without fear of judgment. Their unwavering encouragement was invaluable. They never corrected her mistakes harshly, instead offering gentle suggestions or simply repeating the correct phrase. This nurturing environment fostered immense growth, making her feel brave enough to try increasingly complex sentences. Gradually, her home conversations became more elaborate, discussing daily events, opinions, and even light-hearted debates. The comfort of her home became a safe laboratory for linguistic experimentation, building real-world conversational stamina and confidence for external interactions. The next big leap was how to talk with anyone. This meant moving beyond the safety of home. She knew simulated practice was essential before facing the real world. Preparing for diverse conversational scenarios became her new focus. She practiced role-playing different conversations at home, imagining various scenarios, ordering coffee, asking for directions, making small talk. This mental preparation reduced anxiety significantly, building a mental repertoire of useful phrases and responses for public use. She also realized the profound power of active listening in real conversations. Truly listening helped her grasp nuances, understand different accents, and formulate appropriate responses. It wasn't just about speaking, but about engaging holistically with the language. Understanding common idioms and natural speech patterns, often gleaned from her English story reading, became crucial. Native speakers didn't always use textbook English, and recognizing these colloquialisms made conversations far more understandable and engaging. Learning to ask open-ended questions was another game-changer. It kept conversations flowing, shifting the conversational burden slightly, allowing her more time to formulate her thoughts. Good questions facilitated deeper, more meaningful interactions with others. A critical hurdle was overcoming the ingrained fear of making mistakes in public. She understood that everyone makes errors, especially language learners. This acceptance liberated her from self-imposed pressure, allowing her to speak more freely. She embraced the mantra, "Mistakes are not failures, they are signposts on the road to fluency." Each error provided a learning opportunity, highlighting areas for improvement. This mindset transformed anxiety into a valuable feedback mechanism, promoting continuous learning. Her first public conversation involved a simple exchange with a barista. Ordering coffee felt like a monumental achievement. The words, though few, came out clearly. The barista understood perfectly. It was a small, yet profoundly significant, victory. The relief and exhilaration of that successful interaction were immense. It fueled her motivation to seek out more opportunities to speak. Each positive encounter chipped away at her previous inhibitions, replacing them with a burgeoning sense of accomplishment. Despite the progress, Maya's daily struggle persisted in subtle ways. Some days, words just wouldn't come. Fatigue or self-doubt could creep in, making practice feel like an uphill battle. It was a continuous, evolving process. She learned that some days would inherently be harder than others. Progress was rarely linear. Plateaus and setbacks were inevitable. Recognizing this prevented discouragement from derailing her entire learning journey. Patience became her unwavering companion. The importance of not giving up, even on the toughest days, became her guiding principle. Persistence was not just a virtue, but the absolute cornerstone of her eventual success. One small step, every single day, added up significantly. When motivation dipped, she reconnected with the core way of learning English methods that had served her so well. Going back to basics, reinforcing foundational skills, always helped her regain momentum and clarity of purpose. Rereading her favorite English stories provided comfort and reinforced vocabulary she already knew, solidifying it. It was like revisiting old friends, a reassuring exercise that reminded her how far she had already come in her journey. Simultaneously, she continuously sought out new English stories, expanding her genre preferences and vocabulary. Each new book offered fresh challenges and exciting discoveries, preventing stagnation and keeping her learning journey vibrant and engaging. The entire learning process itself became a very interesting story. Each new word acquired, each challenging conversation navigated, added a fascinating chapter to her personal narrative. Her journey became a testament to human perseverance. Indeed, every successful interaction, every new phrase confidently used, was a mini-story of triumph. The journey from fear-stricken silence to articulate expression unfolded like an epic saga, filled with small victories and significant breakthroughs. The narrative of her language acquisition was compelling, full of relatable struggles and inspiring breakthroughs. Her personal story served as a powerful reminder that with dedication, transformation is always possible, regardless of the initial difficulties faced. Through English, she also gained a deeper understanding of diverse cultures and perspectives. Reading international news and literature broadened her worldview immeasurably. English became not just a language, but a gateway to global empathy. The feeling of accomplishment after a particularly challenging conversation was immensely satisfying. It validated all her hard work, proving that her persistent efforts were indeed yielding tangible and meaningful results, boosting her self-efficacy. The shift from dreading English conversations to genuinely enjoying them was perhaps the greatest transformation. What was once a source of anxiety became a source of genuine pleasure and connection. Her confidence soared. English story reading evolved from a remedial task into a cherished pastime. She found herself eagerly anticipating new books, fully immersed in their narratives, effortlessly absorbing language without even conscious effort. It was pure enjoyment. Maya, once shy, began enthusiastically sharing her methods with others who struggled. She advocated for starting small, practicing consistently, and embracing mistakes. Her own journey became a blueprint for aspiring English speakers worldwide. She emphasized the profound importance of consistent home practice, even when it felt silly or awkward. Start talking at home, she'd advise, because that's where true confidence begins to quietly blossom, building momentum for the outside world. Her transformation from hesitant silence to articulate eloquence was truly remarkable. It wasn't just about speaking a language, it was about reclaiming her voice and connecting with people on a deeper, more meaningful level globally. The freedom that came with global communication skills was unparalleled. She could now travel, work, and engage with diverse communities without linguistic barriers. The world literally opened up to her, full of new possibilities. Reflecting on her initial overwhelming fears, Maya marveled at how far she had journeyed. The once impenetrable wall of English had crumbled, replaced by a vibrant, accessible bridge connecting her to a vast, engaging world. The power of believing in oneself, even when progress felt agonizingly slow, was a critical lesson. Self-doubt was the greatest enemy. Unwavering self-belief, coupled with consistent action, proved to be the ultimate catalyst for her success. English indeed became a powerful bridge, not a daunting barrier. It facilitated friendships, opened professional doors, and enriched her personal life in countless unexpected ways, truly transforming her existence profoundly and beautifully. Daily practice, whether reading or speaking, remained the absolute cornerstone of her sustained fluency. It was a commitment, a ritual, that continuously polished her skills, ensuring they remained sharp and ready for any conversation. Her journey of learning English was ongoing, with new vocabulary and expressions always emerging. The language was dynamic, evolving, and she embraced this continuous learning, forever curious, forever expanding her linguistic horizons. The profound impact English had on her life was immeasurable. It transcended mere communication, it shaped her identity, broadened her understanding, and connected her to a global tapestry of human experience, making her truly limitless. The continuous joy of connecting with diverse people from all corners of the globe, sharing stories and ideas, became her greatest reward. English had empowered her to truly belong in an interconnected world, fostering genuine connections. Her story became a living testament to the power of dedication, strategic learning, and unwavering perseverance. It highlighted that with the right approach and enough grit, anyone can conquer the challenge of language acquisition. English truly unlocked a world of possibilities for her, transforming a dream into a tangible reality. It was more than a language, it was a passport to a richer, more connected, and infinitely more interesting life experience. Her journey from struggle to mastery stands as an inspiring beacon for every aspiring language learner. It proves that persistent effort, combined with smart strategies, inevitably leads to profound and rewarding linguistic transformation.